Hi everyone, I hope you're all okay and ready for story time. I am. Today we're going to read the story called Icky Little Duckling. If you look down there, the author is a man called Steve Smallman. I've never read this book before, so it's going to be a little surprise for me too. So sit comfortably and we will begin. Here we go then. So, Icky Little Duckling. Mr. Rabbit liked everything to be just so. Every flower, just so. Every pebble, just so. Every leaf in the forest perfectly neat, and just so. One day he was busy tidying when he found something smooth and speckly and perfect. "Oh, my whiskers!" he gasped. "You're just the right thing for my collection." There's Mr. Rabbit. Look, what has he got in his hand? Look. Mr. Rabbit hurried home. He carefully washed the perfect speckly thing and placed it, just so, in the middle of his collection. He loved it. He often sat polishing it and humming a happy little hum. And there he is in his house. The perfect speckly thing. Do you know what it is? But then, one evening, crack, a jagged line appeared down the side of Mr. Rabbit's perfect speckly thing. "Oh, my whiskers!" he gasped in horror. "Don't worry, we'll soon have you mended." So there's the crack. Oh, look how worried he looks. Oh no. But it was too late. Crack! It broke in two. What's inside, guys? What is it? And out came something icky, sticky and strange. Not just so at all. It looked up at Mr. Rabbit and said, "Mama, Mama." "What?" cried Mr. Rabbit. "No, no, no, I'm not your Mama," it said again, even louder. Then it hopped onto the floor, grabbed hold of Mr. Rabbit's leg and wouldn't let go. Oh dear, he thinks Mr. Rabbit's his mum. "Yuck!" groaned Mr. Rabbit. He popped the icky, sticky thing into a big, bubbly bath. "First you must be clean, then we'll find your mumma in the morning." Whack! That looks like fun. Soon there were bubbles all over the floor, bubbles on Mr. Rabbit, and bubbles all over the burrow. "Goodness me!" gasped Mr. Rabbit. "You're a duckling." Mr. Rabbit covered in bubbles. Gurgle, urgle, urgle, went the duckling's stomach. "Oh, bother," grumbled Mr. Rabbit. "Now you're hungry. Do you like porridge?" Do you think ducklings like porridge? The little duckling did like porridge. She liked to sit in it, she liked to splash in it, and she liked to share it with Mr. Rabbit. "Ew!" groaned Mr. Rabbit, and he filled up the bath again. "Mama!" There you go, there's the duckling sitting it. And getting it all over Mr. Rabbit. Don't think he's very happy, do you? "Oh, yawn," went the little duckling. bedtime. Thank goodness, cried Mr. Rabbit. Soon be morning. He popped the duckling into a box and tucked her in, just so. But the duckling didn't stay just so for long. Mama! There he is, putting the baby duckling to bed. Mr. Rabbit flopped into his chair. What a mess, he groaned. I'll tidy up in the... Mama, whispered the little duckling. She scrambled onto Mr. Rabbit's lap, snuggled up and fell asleep too. Oh. Mr. Rabbit's exhausted after looking after Duckling all day. Next morning, they set off to find Duckling's mama. Duckling found a stretchy thing and some spotty bugs. What's this stretchy thing? Is it something you might have found on your mini beast hunts recently? What are these? Shout out if you know what they are. That's right, so he's got a worm and these are ladybirds. Then she found a grumpy old prickle monster and had to have a hug from Mr. Rabbit. But they didn't find Mama. What's the grumpy old prickle monster? Can you see? Shout out if you know what that is. That's right, it's a hedgehog. Back at home, Mr. Rabbit made some more porridge. The duckling found lots of lovely things to play with. Put those down, shouted Mr. Rabbit. Carefully. Oh, and I hope we find your mama soon, he sighed. Oh, poor Mr. Rabbit, he's looking a bit stressed, isn't he? Duckling's having a fantastic time, playing with all his special things. But they didn't find her the next day, or the day after that. Then one morning, down beside the stream, the duckling shouted, Mama! And this time she was right. She leapt to meet her family in a happy huddle of kisses and quacks. Oh, look. All their brothers and sisters as well. Oh, she looks so happy. Then, as Mr. Rabbit turned to leave, the little duckling jumped into his arms and gave him a great big feathery hug. Thank you so much, Mr. Rabbit, said Mrs. Duck. Oh. Back in his burrow, Mr. Rabbit scrubbed and polished until everything was as neat as before. His books were just so. His boxes were, you say it, just so. And his collection was tip-top, totally just so. But he didn't feel right. Everything was just so. But he was just so lonely. Even his special things didn't seem so special anymore. Then Mr. Rabbit had a wonderful idea. Oh, my whiskers, he cried. I'll need lots of porridge. Oh, he looks sad. The house is nice and tidy though, isn't it? Wonder what he's going to do with all this porridge. Mr. Rabbit invited the duck family to tea. His burrow didn't stay neat for very long, but it was filled with giggles and quacks and fun and friends. And Mr. Rabbit thought it was just perfect. slide. Oh look, there he is feeding the ducks porridge. What a perfect ending to that story. I really enjoyed that and I hope you did too. And I'll see you tomorrow for some more story time with me. Take care now. Bye everyone.